Hello, hello. It's just Kate here from Secret Bloggers Business. How you guys going? Can you let me know if you can hear me? I'm not sure if it might be my headphones or something. I was doing a test before and there was no sound. So let me know because I've got a few. Yes. Hooray. Awesome. Well, I'm jumping on a bit early anyway, so I'm glad that it has come through. So I could just say hi to you guys, and if anyone's got any questions that you want to kick off with, we'll jump in bang on time. So we've got about 7 minutes before we get started. For everyone who's on now, you should see there the link to our workbook as well, which I'll just pop that up. I'll paste the link straight into the chat box so you guys can have it ready to roll. Now, with the workbook, you'll need to, so it's shared in Google Drive, so you just need to jump in, download it. So you can either print it off if you've got time, or it's online editable, or you can just use pen and paper if that works for you as well. So when you are doing the online editable version, make sure that you do download and save it onto your desktop, reopen that file, and then once at the end, when you've filled it all out, make sure you do print, save as PDF to make sure that it keeps all of your details as well, because sometimes people just do save. It doesn't. It seems to depend on what your PDF viewer is and different kinds of settings, and sometimes you just hit save, it doesn't save what you've written into it, which is really devastating when you've just spent an hour filling this thing out. So there's a workbook there. Otherwise, everyone say hi. Let me know who's on there. So we've got, hi, Shanita, how are you going? I can see there's a few other people sitting there. So don't be shy. Say hello. Let me know where you're from, name of your blog or business. And yeah, we'll kick it up. I said, it's a blog party. Let's keep it fun and light, as well as doing some awesome planning for the year. So I also just want to say thank you guys for, oh, hi, Whitley, how are you going? Thank you guys so much for donating and for coming in. Hi, Charlotte. I think actually, I'll get the final tally. Now we're about to kick off. I think last time I checked, it was about $1,200 US, which is amazing. Yeah, $1,187 US is our final tally, which is so awesome and so exciting. So thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. And as I've said as well, I'm going to be matching that with my own money. So it's actually about, my maths is terrible, but 2,300 something or other is going to get donated to a very, very awesome cause. So yay. Hey, Kim, how you going? Hey, Bethany. I hope this time wasn't too late for you guys. I know this time of year, it's really tricky to find a time that's Aussie friendly and US friendly. Actually, is anyone there in Los Angeles? Is anyone near those crazy fires? I was looking at those this morning. They're out of control. Hey, Emily, how you going? Oh, we have two Emilys. Hello to both of you. So yeah, guys, make sure I've shared a link below in the chat, and I've also shared it as a file. So this is an updated version of Webinar Jam. So of course they've moved everything around. So I haven't done a live webinar in Webinar Jam since they've rejigged it all. But I did a file share, which has got the PDF. You can grab that for there as well. And there's also the Google Drive link, which you guys can grab. Now, as I said, we'll be kicking off about 4 minutes. If anyone's got any quick questions they wanted to get answered first, feel free to post them. We will have a full Q&A session at the end. So if you've got any questions as we go along that aren't just related to planning, that might be sort of blog related or, you know, traffic or social media or whatever it is, I'm happy to answer all of those too. Baby girl and hubby are in bed, so it's your me time. I love that. So it's perfect timing then. Everyone else can be snoozing and you can just be focusing on your blog and business. Yes, we will be sending through a replay, you know, fingers crossed, as long as this all records correctly. If it doesn't record correctly, what I will do, because some people weren't able to come to this time, but they still wanted to donate, still want to get the info. So I will just tomorrow, I will re-record it, like just just go through the presentation again. So obviously it won't be exactly the same, but you'll get the info. So if there is some issue with the recording, because this is Australian internet and it's appalling, the upload speed is appalling. There's nothing, I've never seen anything as bad as in Australia, and I've been to a few places in the last few years. So hopefully you can make it to the end. We've got a giveaway at the end as well, Shanita, so hopefully you can hang in there all the way through the end so you can take part in that. But yeah, if not, then we will send you the replay or the replay if that doesn't work. Yeah, thank you. It's such I remember when I found that charity, I was looking for, I think it's really important when you're, for me anyway, with my business, I wanted to be able to give back in some way. And I just wanted to find a charity that was really in line with what I was doing and what I believe in, because there's so many and they're all fantastic and all doing wonderful things. But you want to just, if you're going to be going, committing to sort of one charity, you want one that's really, really in line with the stuff that you're the most passionate about, and helping women to become financially independent and to do, to live bigger, more exciting lives than maybe what's the norm and what's expected of them is kind of my jam, because that was, I grew up in a small country town and everyone thought I would go off and be a hairdresser. And I was like, no, that's nothing wrong with being a hairdresser, but that was not what I wanted to do. So I love that I get to do this now, and I get to kind of help other people do that as well. So when it's nearly start time, I'm so stoked we've got so many people on. I know we had over 100 people register, but so many people were saying, I can't come live, but I just wanted to donate and send me the replay. So I'm so glad you guys could all join me. This is awesome. So let's just do a tiny little bit of housekeeping, and then we can jump on into the presentation. So basically, as I said, this is Aussie Internet. Aussie Internet sucks. I've done all the things I can possibly do to make sure, hang on, just put my phone on silent, to make sure that we I've turned everything off. There's no Netflix happening here, but the internet can be problematic both from my end and other people's as well. So first of all, if something goes wrong, if we start to freeze or you lose sound or something, first thing to do would be to refresh your browser. Try that a couple of times, see if that brings you back. If it completely dies, let me know. And what I'll do is I'll probably have to duck off, create another start link, and I'll share it with you guys. So stay here, because I'll share it here in the chat box. So you guys can then just open that and carry on. I'll shoot an email out to everyone as well with it too. So that's my, in case of emergencies, it's kind of like being on an airplane. It's like your exits are here, here, and here. That's kind of my webinar version of that. But it's now 1:30 Aussie time, so let's dive straight on into it, because there's a fair bit of content to get through. And as I'm aware that some of you guys are very close to bedtime, and I don't want to keep you up any later than we need to. So first of all, for everyone who has just jumped in, thank you so much for joining me. I'm so excited that we get to do this and that we get to plan all our years out together, and also that we've raised over $2,000 for an amazing charity, which is very, very dear to my heart. So thank you guys so much for being a part of that. And for everyone who has just jumped in, there is a workbook there. So grab the workbook. You don't need to grab the workbook. You can use a pen and paper instead, but workbook it's a bit prettier, up to you. It is online editable, so obviously you won't have time to go and print it off right now, but you can just download it. So the process with the online editable files is make sure you download it onto your computer, reopen that file. Don't try to just jump in, don't just click that link and try and do it there, because that's just kind of like the view only version in Google Drive. So reopen it, go through, fill it out, and then at the end, print as PDF, and that will make sure it saves everything that you've written into it. Because if you just hit save, sometimes it doesn't save your answers, which is quite upsetting. So that's my spiel. Thank you so much, guys. Let me just switch over to the screen share. Awesome. So let me guys know if you can see my slides there. Hopefully you can. And we can jump on in and get started. So welcome to the How to Plan Your Best Year Yet planning party. I've only got a cup of tea because it's only lunchtime here in Australia, but for anyone who felt like bringing a glass of wine or a bottle of tequila or whatever your jam is, totally, you know, I feel you, and I will be joining with you later on in the day. So for anyone who hasn't jumped in and said hello, make sure you say hi in the chat box. Let us know where you're from in the world and the name of your blog as well. And I've already kind of gone through the how to get the best out of this workshop. So as well as like looking out for tech errors, make sure you don't have any streaming happening at your end, that you shut down all the other tabs that you've got going on, put your phone on silent, lock the kids in a cupboard if you need to. I didn't say that. Do what you got to do so you can really concentrate, because this is actually, it isn't just me saying information at you. There is going to be, I'm going to explain little processes, and then we're going to have break. And you're going to actually go and do. You're going to actually start plotting stuff out and planning stuff out. So you're going to need silence. You're going to need to be able to concentrate. So yeah, as I said, do everything you can to make sure that that is good to happen. The worksheet is there for anyone who hasn't grabbed it yet. And as I said, we have some giveaways. So for those of you who shared this workshop and this the charity workshop, thank you so much for doing that. We got a bunch of extra people come and join us through that, so that's awesome. And all those people who are joining through that and who are kind of meeting us for the first time, hi and welcome. But the winner of the 12-month Blog Squad scholarship is Alicia Ruffino. I don't know if you are on with us live, Alicia. If you are, give us a hey. Either way, we'll be sending you an email with all the details, but congrats and thank you so much to everybody who shared as well. And that is not the only giveaway. We also have a giveaway at the end of this presentation, so hang around for that. It's kind of a way, it's my little way of motivating you to get some shit done before the end of the year, basically. So it's going to be a couple of tasks you have to do, a few things you need to get ticked off your list, and everyone who does is then in the draw to win something that's like super awesome. So we'll get through that at the end. So on the menu today, we're going to go through how to set goals that work. Then you're actually going to be setting those goals. We're going to be going through and creating your marketing and editorial map and plan. Then we're going to be covering off a few things you can do to end your year with the bang. And as I said, there's going to be an awesome prize giveaway for people who do that. So if you've got any questions as we go through, I'm going to be trying not to focus too heavy on the chat box, just because I do tend to get distracted and go off on a tangent. But please do ask questions. I'll try and answer any that are sort of relevant to what we're talking about at the time, particularly if it's you know, part of it where it's like, okay, go and do a thing. If you're stuck on that thing, please ask questions. I'm here to help. But at the end, if you've got any other questions about whether it's about planning or goals or anything, you know, that falls under my sort of nerdy, bloggy kind of banner, please feel free to ask them, and I will answer them at the end. So I wanted just to kick off on, oh, thank you, Annette. I'm so glad you like it. I want to kick off with I like to start with the positive always. So I want you all to think of one win that you can share in the chat box. So what is one thing that's happened this year because of your blog or business that you're really chuffed about? It can be a big thing. It could be a small thing. It could be meeting someone awesome, getting like a really cool opportunity to do something, dream client, some press or media that you've had. It could just be figuring something out for the first time, feeling really proud of yourself for doing that. So I want you to all think of one win and share it in the chat box. For me, one of my wins is it's like partly a win. Attended New York Fashion Week. That is amazing, Bethany. Congratulations. Which show did you go to? For me, it's moving to Entreport is kind of a win. I think I finally got the systems that I need, even though it was the most painful thing in the world doing the move. Whiteley says is it Whitley or Whiteley? Sorry. I'm terrible at pronouncing names. But hosted your first style event and got your biggest paid collaboration. That is amazing. Congratulations. Shanita redesigned your health leg of your blogging brand. Awesome. Redesigns are so satisfying. Whitley, awesome. I will remember that. Elizabeth says, raise your prices to where they should be. Yes, congratulations. That is massive. So many people undercharged for way, way, way too long. Kim has celebrated a year of her blog, and you had a lunch with 50 of your readers. That is beautiful. I love that. Annette says a Webjet is now a regular client for her. Amazing. Oh, guys, this has been 2017's been pretty rad. I think 2016 was rough for a lot of people. 2017's been kind of cool. Yes, Donna says she's bitten the bullet and her website is currently under construction. Amazing. Oh, hey, Janelle, how you going? I know you've had a few wins. Make sure you share at least one of them. Got your first lead magnet set up and got first 1,000 email subscribers from it. Says Erin, that's amazing. Guys, you've been killing it. Yay. I wish I was drinking some booze because then I could cheers you all. But congratulations, everyone. I hope you feel super duper proud. So with that, on that high note, let's get started and let's get into making 2018 even better. So first task for you guys to do is I want you to take a quick snapshot. So you'll see in the worksheet that the workbook, there's a place to do this. I did miss I missed to put in revenue for some reason. Apologies for that. You might just want to write it. There's an other field. You can pop it in there. But now I'm going to give you guys like 5 minutes to go and quickly get your current stats. So if you've been around if you've been blogging or in business for a little while, sorry, I've got the itchiest nose. I think I'm getting hay fever. Go through and jump into your analytics. So you jump into Google Analytics, or if you're not using Google Analytics, whatever it is you're using. So if you're using your WordPress stats or your Squarespace stats or whatever it is, jump in. I want you to get the amounts for the annual. So the total number that you've had for the last 12 months plus the last 30 days, because that kind of gives you a good range. Look at your social followings. How many people have you got currently on just the ones that you're using? Like if you're not using a Twitter or if you're not using Pinterest, don't worry about it. Just the ones you're using. How many people are on your email list and how much money, and obviously for some of you it's going to be harder to calculate that, but just roughly, if you can do ballpark, the revenue that you've made from your blog or business in the last 30 days and over this year, and just write that down because we're just going to draw a line in the sand for that. So I'm going to let you guys a couple of minutes. Let me know in the chat box when you've done it, and then we can jump on in. Oh, someone just emailed saying they don't have the link to get in here, so I'm going to quickly email them back so they can come and join us. So just give me 2 seconds while I do that as well. Oh, so I didn't reopen the workbook, but when you type, nothing shows up. It does seem to vary from computer to computer, so I'm not sure. I hope no one else is having that same issue, but just pop it down on a piece of paper. Grab a piece of paper, just drop your headings and you can pop it down there. You can always print off the workbook and then pop it in there later if you want something that looks a bit more pretty. I'll enjoy the tea with you, Donna. Well, mine's apple and ginger. You guys, I'm just going to make sure no one else is lost and without a... Amanda says, how did you locate analytics on Wix? I'm not sure, to be honest, Han. I've never used Wix. So from what I can see, you need to add an app to your site to track this. So or you need to set up Google Analytics on your site. So you might not be able to grab them this time, but that's fine. You can go and get your social following ones and stuff like that for now. That's totally okay. But I would put it on your list of to-dos for next year to get the Google Analytics, or there's this one. I don't know if it's any good, but this one just came up. Looks pretty cool in that market. No, I've never used Monster Insights either. You guys are really... I'm just a pretty good old Google Analytics gal. I'm assuming Monster Insights is another form of analytics. Oh, it's a Google Analytics plugin. If you actually go into Google Analytics, so it looks like Monster Insights sets up Google Analytics for you. So you should have data, all the full data in Google Analytics, I'm sure. Not just in the Monster Insights dashboard. Is that right? So it seems like so many people. So Google Analytics, I know it can be a little bit scary. All right, guys, if anyone's having trouble, just don't stress. If you can't get your numbers right now, I set it for you as homework. Grab the rest of the ones that you can if you can't easily grab them, and then homework to get done afterwards, because we want to just, keep on plowing on. It's just, you can get it done sometime before the end of the year and it will be perfect. Awesome. Looks like Erin's done. Anyone else is done getting the rest of those stats together, give me a shout and we will move on to the next step. Cool. Well, it looks like a few people are done, and I know other people are going to have to do this later. So we'll move on. For everyone who isn't finished yet, just feel free to quickly, because I'm just going to go through a couple of things so you can probably grab those numbers and listen at the same time. So now you've got that snapshot. I want to quickly cover off why quite often people end up setting goals that fail. And the problem when you set goals and then you don't achieve them is it's really demoralizing. And then it kind of slowly chips away at you. And after a little while, you're like, oh, well, what's the point? Like how many times have we, people said at the start of the year, like New Year's resolution, I'm going to lose 5 kilos or 10 pounds, depending on where you're from. And then, it comes to the end of the year and you're like, oh, or even at the end of January and you're like, whoops. So setting goals that are attainable and achievable and that you actually get done is so crucial, because it builds up your confidence. It builds that muscle in your brain that sort of says, yeah, I can do this. And so I like for people when they're sitting down, I want you to set goals that will happen. Not like easy goals, like these should still be a stretch, but not crazy unrealistic goals either. So I want to go through why most goals fail. And I think if we're looking at things like starting of the year setting resolutions, it'd be like 90% of those bad boys never get off the ground. And that's not what you want otherwise it makes your planning process pointless if you're not planning properly. There's too many P's in that sentence. So first reason is they're not based on fact. So people kind of set a goal of something they would like to happen, And that could be like, I want to make $1 million, or I want to, I want another 10,000 people on my email list. But they're not based on any fact or evidence. So if so far you have 50 people on your email list and that's taken you 2 years to go, I want to get 10,000 people on your email list, I'm not saying it's not possible, but you don't actually know how to do that yet. You haven't got those skills yet. So you don't know what triggers you need to pull, what steps you need to take to make that happen. So it's all guessing. And when you're saying you want to do goals, but you have to guess how to get them done, then that's kind of like red flag that this is not the right goal for you to be setting. Also, they're not tied to your why and what. So the why is it you're doing this in the first place? So is it because you want more freedom? Is it because you need to be creative? Is it because you love to serve? Is it because you like to interact with people? Why do you want to do this business or blog? Like, why did you choose to do this over everything else and and sacrifice the things you had to sacrifice and put your time and energy into it? And the what do you actually want at the end? Because again, to say you want $1 million or you want an extra 10,000 people on your email list, if those things don't directly tie into your why and your what, they're not very powerful. So if you want an extra 10,000 people and those are not just people, they're like, the right people and they're your tribe and they're people you can help, that's so much more. Or you want to make, if your why is because you love helping people, so when you make your goal, you want to, help X number of people with Z. That's such a better goal than just 10,000 people on your email list. And the outcome's probably going to be similar. So make sure they're tied into your why, like why you're doing this, and your what, as in what you actually want. And we're actually going to go through a quick process in a minute that kind of helps you step out what it is you want and like to really spend a bit of time playing with what your dream business looks like. The third reason is they're not supported by a plan. So like I said, if you're just pulling random numbers for random things out of the air and you've never been able to actually have any progress in that area, if you don't have the skills or the knowledge necessarily in that area, and you're kind of picking these big crazy numbers, it's going to be very hard for you to then create a plan to make that happen. And you're never going to know every single step to get you where you want to go, but you need to be able to know the big milestones. You need to be able to know, okay, well, I need to probably go and get some help with this particular thing. I know this worked before, so I'm going to do that again. You need to have part of the puzzle in place at least, and a plan and an idea how you can find the rest of the pieces of the puzzle, rather than just be absolutely starting from scratch with like no idea and going, I just want 10,000 people on my email list, but I have no idea how to do that. So I hope that makes sense. So question for you guys. Did anyone set a goal last year that didn't quite happen the way that you wanted it to? If you did, pop it into the chat box. Let me know. I mean, I know I did. I'm really good at setting business goals. I'm absolutely terrible at setting life goals. I'm a classic, lose 10 pound every year person, and that just never happens. So, yes, Janita, I know I'm not the only one. I know you're not the only one either. And while we're at it, what about the year before? Like it is, everyone does it, end of or start every year. It's very tempting to just set goals, and then, life happens, we get in the way. We get in our own way, or life gets in the way, or et cetera, or we haven't set the right goal in the first place, and then they don't come true. They don't happen. Diane, glad you've got it. Glad you've got it working. The phone can be a little bit tricky. Donna, you're saying your goal was to stay married, or you managed to stay married? Either way, congratulations. I wasn't particularly good at staying married myself. Yes, so totally. Everyone gets this, which is awesome. And hopefully for you guys, after you've gone through this process, next year will be a very different story. So I said, don't beat yourself up. Everyone does it. So now how do you make sure that this year, and by this year I mean 2018, the next 12 months, goals actually get done? So I'm sure you guys have seen this before. I have a slightly different version. You've probably all heard of SMART goals. So SMART goals are, S stands for specific. So you don't just say, I want more traffic. You say, I want 5,000 more visitors a month every month kind of thing. They need to be measurable. So again, it needs to be, I want this to be better. Or I want this to be bigger, or I want more of this. You have to actually be able to say, put like numbers on it, so you can know when you've achieved it. So you can say, I want 10 more of these, or I want 3 new clients a month, or whatever it is. You need to be able to measure it, because otherwise you don't know you've actually gotten to that goal if there is no sort of, again, that line in the sand that you're aiming for. A is achievable or actionable. It's kind of interchangeable, but basically there need to be steps and actions that you can take and that you can take, that you can literally go away and tomorrow start taking the first one so that you start moving towards that goal. R is results orientated. So I've got results / realistic in my notes here. So again, you don't want to aim too low, because that's not very motivating. Because if I was to go, I want 10 more people on my email list, and then that was easy. You don't need to keep trying, right? And then you don't want them to be so high that they're just beyond the realms of possibility. You want to kind of almost go, all right, this is what I think is possible. And then like stretch it up like, 20% or something that feels, that feels good for you. And the T is time-based. So you need to be able to say, by this date, this will have happened. So that's the, SMART goals. Like I'm sure you've all heard that. It's pretty basic stuff. I like to take it the next step further, and I like to make smartery goals, which is not very catchy, but I find this is really, really useful for me. So you add this to add these extra kind of layers. So E is exciting. So set goals that excite you, that are going to, when you're having one of those days and you need to sit down and get something done, and you're just like, oh, I would much rather watch Netflix. But you have this thing going, no, because this is going to get me closer to this, and this thing is going to be awesome. So you want these goals to be exciting. R is for rewarding. I like to set myself rewards for all my goals, and not just if I achieve this reward. I actually have 3 levels of rewards. I call it the keep the lights on goal. So that's like the, scrape in bare minimum, cover costs. It was worth the time doing whatever it is that you were doing. Then I have my pat myself on the back goal, and that is like, a number that you're like, yeah, I feel pretty good with that. I'm chuffed. I didn't, that's more than I've done previously. That's awesome. And then there's the, oh my God, I would never have thought that would have happened kind of goal, which is the, the shooting for the stars kind of thing. And, I like to kind of almost like step what the rewards are. So the rewards, again, they need to be something meaningful for you. But previously I've done one where it's like, if I achieve this goal, I'm going to go fly and visit my friend who lives in Perth, because that's, I haven't seen them in ages. And if I get the first level goal, I'll fly economy. If I get the second level goal, I'll fly business. And if I get first level goal, I'll fly first class kind of thing. That's just an example. Or if it's something like, you're going to go and get a 30-minute massage, or a massage and a facial, or like a whole day spa day kind of thing. So you're never missing out on one of the rewards. It's like building on the rewards. I find, again, just subconsciously that works better for me, but you pick one that works for you. And then the why is it needs to be connected to your why. So as in that goal needs to be helping you and a priority to get you closer to the why that I spoke about, like why it is that you do this thing. And not everyone, I just want to put a little caveat here, not everyone's why is some big lofty thing either. Like I know a lot of people, you see all these people on Instagram, they're like, oh, my why is to change the world. My why is to save orphans starving in Africa. And those are brilliant. But for a lot of people, the why is just like, I don't want to be stuck in a job that makes me sad all day. I want to be able to do something I love, and, also have some spare time and spend more time with my kids, and be, more present for my friends and family, and, be a happier, better person. That's a rad why as well. Just make sure that whatever your why or whys are, that you know what they are. So time to get real. So you don't end up aiming for for something that you don't want, because this actually happened with me with my first business. So super quick story, because I'm aware that we're already half an hour in. I told you this would go for 90 minutes. And basically with my very first business, Drop Dead Gorgeous Daily, like I ran it for nearly 10 years, but by about year 6 or 7, I was like, oh my God, this is not right. Like it was really successful, but I wasn't happy. Like I was working really hard, but I'd managed to give away all the fun stuff. Like I'd outsourced and built a team, but the jobs that I outsourced first, just because I guess they were easiest to find people to do them, were the fun jobs that I loved, like creating content and taking photos and doing web design and all that. I'm a creative person, and I ended up being this ad sales person who had to do ad sales and sponsored content year round. I was like, this isn't what I wanted. Like this is, so I basically built myself a job, and it was like a job that I never would have applied for if it had been advertised. And that's not, again, it's not why you work for yourself. You want to create the job, even though it's not a job, of your dreams. You want to make sure you're doing stuff you love. Obviously, there's give and take. There's always going to be stuff that isn't as fun, but just make sure you're still getting enough of the fun in there to make it worthwhile. So you need to know what you want, where you're going, like what does your dream business setup look like, so that you can then have goals which will get you there, rather than just being in there going, well, I just need to make more money, or I just need to grow, or creating goals around what you think you should be doing as well. Like I think I had in my head, because I'd come from magazines, I was like, well, it's basically like an online magazine. So I want us to have a fancy office and all this stuff. And, we'll work, like I just kind of shoulded my way along. And then I kind of got there and I went, oh, crap, that's not what I wanted. And then I kind of had to start again, which is what Secret Blogger's business is. So 5 questions for you guys to ask yourself, and you'll see these are in the workbook. But if you couldn't get the workbook to work, or you don't have the workbook, don't stress. First question is, I want you to say, what do you want your business to look like? So imagine you have a magic wand and you can create your dream business. What does that look like? What does it feel like? That's really important. Like, do you feel proud? Do you feel energized? Do you feel, excited? Do you what does it feel like in that business? Where do you work? Are you alone? Do you have staff? How many? Is it an office? Is it at home? Is it at a cafe somewhere? Like, what type of work are you doing? I want you to get as detailed as possible. I want you to paint a picture here of basically you're like closing your eyes and opening them, and you're sitting at the chair looking out at your dream business. Like everything has fallen into place exactly how you wanted. So this is like writing a wish list for yourself, for your subconscious, for the universe, whatever it is that you believe. But I want you to get really, really detailed now. So I'm going to give you about 5 minutes for that. Feel free with any of these if you want to come back and spend a bit more time on them after the workshop. But let me know when you're done as well. So if everyone gets done quicker, I can move along. But yeah, I'll give you guys some time now to dive in and do that. Awesome. So a couple people are done. I'll just give you one more minute to everyone else to kind of finish off or kind of get as much into it as you can. Alrighty, guys, so let's get into the next question. So the next question is, what do you need from your business for it to feel like a success? So as I said, what success, like success in air quotes, is and means to everyone is actually really different. And it's not always money in the bank. It's not always number of clients, amount of followers. Quite often, actually, it's something very, very different. It'll be much but it has to be, you have to know yourself what that means. So again, I want you to take a couple of minutes now to write down, what do you need from your business for it to feel like a success for you to be able to go like, yeah, like, and if you can make it measurable as well, that would be really good. So if it could be, having a certain amount, whether it is a certain amount of income, a certain amount of spare time, something, or working with certain people, something that, so you can look back on this maybe next year or the year after and go, man, I did that. I am a success. This is awesome. Because we're terrible human beings because we always, well, not all of us, but most of us will move the goalposts before we get to them. So it is a bad habit. So it is good to kind of, you need to know for right now, where is your success line? It will probably move later on. But yeah, then a couple minutes writing down what needs to happen, what you need to achieve, what needs to, what you need from your business basically to feel successful. And again, let me know when you're done. Great. So looks like all right, so on to number 3. And this is different to feeling like a success. What do you need to feel fulfilled? So fulfilled is that, your cup is full. You do your work and you're like, yes, this is awesome. I feel like I'm doing the right thing for me. It's giving me, I get to play in the stuff I want to get to play with. I feel, like I'm contributing where I want to contribute on work. Like, what do you need to feel fulfilled? And some of you won't know this answer yet, and that's fine. Just have a best guess. If you need to think about it more later, feel free to do that. But write down that and let me know when you're done. Great. So it looks like most people are done with that one. So on to question number 4. And obviously, if you're in the workbook and you're finishing early and you want to keep going ahead through these 5 questions, you can see what they are there as well. So what do you think is stopping you? Like, I'm sure everyone kind of has a bit of an idea of some of the sort of things that are blocking them, whether it's a mindset thing, it's probably a combination of things which are kind of getting in which you perceive to be getting in your way right now. So I want you to list down all of those. All right, guys, so let me know if you're done with that one. We'll get on to number 5. And then once we've done these 5 questions, then we kind of dig in and start mapping some stuff out, which is going to be super fun. Great. And so lucky last question. And now this one is, you might want to mark this as homework because it can take a little time to calculate. In fact, I think I will just mark this as homework for you guys. So you can pop down a rough number for now, but I'd love you to spend a little bit of time on this where you actually, so it's not just plucking a random number. It's really good to know how much you actually need to earn. So you probably have a pretty good idea how much you need to earn right now. So for example, if you're, maybe you're wanting to go from having a side hustle to a part-time or to a full-time thing, or maybe you're just needing a little bit of extra, for X, Y, Z. So you probably have an idea for how much you would like to be earning each month right now from your blog or business. But the number that's really good to calculate it, but it does take a bit of time, is how much do you need to earn for your dream life? So, because again, people say things like, I want to earn $1 million or, $100,000 or whatever it is. And these numbers is that, these numbers don't necessarily mean anything, because you could find, so you need to sit down and say, okay, well, what does my dream house look like and how much does it cost? So how much am I going to be needing to pay on a mortgage or rent or whatever each week? How much do I want to travel? What kind of stuff do I need? Like, it's good to calculate this all out. So pop down how much you need to earn right now. And then I set you that homework of, doing the next one. And I'm so sorry to hear about that, hun. Do you have, you should have a backup. They should be able to roll you back to a backup and then you should be fine. So I know it can be stressful. I would strongly recommend getting a staging plugin. Stagecoach is really good. And just making sure that before you do, and you never ever, just from now on, just because this is a lesson we've all done it multiple times, and you'll get it back. So don't worry. There's nothing you can do right now. Just make sure you just tell your host you need them to roll back to their backup. So it's just a good reminder for everyone to make sure you've got really good backup software. I wouldn't just rely on your host backup. I would get an external backup like Updraft or VaultPress installed and set up. And I would also use staging This is great if your host doesn't offer staging. There's one which is about $5 a month. It's called Stagecoach. So what you do is anytime you add a plugin or update WordPress or update a theme, you do it on staging first, make sure it doesn't break anything. You then do an update so that you then do a backup, like create a backup of your site that's working. And then you then click the button in your staging thing. It will apply the changes you've made to your live site. You then go through and test everything. And that kind of puts some safeguards in place to stop this happening again. But I know how frustrating it can be. But yeah, hopefully you can know that, if it's with them, you've done all you can do. If you need to get on a live chat with them and yell at them a bit, I find that's normally easier than just submitting a ticket, and you'll get more stuff done that way. But they should just be able to roll back a backup and you should be fine. So now I want to take you guys through a really quick guided visualization. So this is a little bit woo, but it's very, very powerful stuff. It'll only take a couple of minutes. This is totally, if you don't want to do this, that's totally fine. But yeah, just give me, for those of you who do want to go through it, I recommend you close your eyes, take a couple of big, deep breaths, in and out, take 3 big, deep breaths. And then I'd like you to close your eyes and imagine that you have this goal, this dream business right now. I want you to notice what it feels like to have accomplished this goal. Notice what you see, what you hear. Really, really, notice all of the little details. I now want you to make this even more compelling. I want you to turn up the volume, increase the feelings, make the picture that you have brighter. Make it so compelling. That's right. And when it is as good as it can get, I want you to turn it into a photo so that you can hold it in your hand. I want you to picture yourself holding that photo of your dream business, of all your goals achieved in your hand. Good. Now, imagine you can float above yourself holding that photo and allow your unconscious mind to float out into the future, to an unspecified time in the near future, allowing your unconscious mind to take charge now. And watch as you now release that photo and watch it float down into your timeline. And it lands in the exact right place. I want you to imagine now that you turn and look towards this now and notice all of the events between then and now are realigning themselves to support you in having achieved this goal now. That's right. So now I want you to float back to now, float all the way back, and then open your eyes. So welcome back. For everyone who did that, I want you to let me know, how was that? And let me know if anything feels different when you consider this future moment, this future goal now. And while you're thinking about that, yes, Diane says woo can be good. Woo can be good. I hope it was a very quick little process, but it can be, and it's something that you can do yourself as well if you're ever feeling a little like you're focusing on negative, to just picture yourself holding it as a photo and floating out to exactly where it needs to be. That happens, and drop it down, and then watch everything realigning. It is kind of scary, but I think it's kind of exciting as well. Oh, thank you, Donna. All right, guys. So now I want you guys to, now we've pictured it, I want you to sit down and I want you to write out your top 3 goals or milestones or things that have to happen. for you to get to where you need to be in the next 12 months. So obviously you've pictured your big, hairy, scary dream life, and you all have all the resources and capabilities you need to make that happen. But just think 12 months from now, what if you had achieved 3 big things that were kind of going to get you towards that? What would be those 3 things? I want you to write them down. And again, I don't think I put this into the worksheet, so apologies. You'll have to put this on a piece of paper or a note somewhere. But I want you to pick 3 goals that are going to help you get towards where you need to be in the next 12 months. And let me know when you've written them down. Yay, Donna says you can absolutely see it. Well, if you can see it, it can happen. I'm a big believer in that, so that's very exciting. I'm very excited for you. All right, if anyone is struggling with this, I'll take you through the next process, and this might make picking those 3 things a bit easier. So let's, as everything you would pick, once you've picked your 3 goals, I want you to set a reward. But if you haven't picked the 3 goals and you're struggling with them a little bit and trying to come up with exactly what they are, I want to take you through this just quickly. So I call this the happy business model. Basically, I believe that a successful business gives you 3 things. It gives you good growth, good profit, and a good life. And I like to set my goals to reflect projects that fall under each of these 3 areas. And I call these a happy business projects. So you will have in your worksheets, you'll see quarterly project plans. And this is what I like to do is I like to break a year into quarters, and in each quarter to put down one project that falls under each of those 3 categories, and to figure out what, good, I'm glad you got it sorted, Annette, to figure out what those 3 things are for each of your quarters. So these are like little quarterly sprints, basically. It can be really, really useful to sit down on it with a piece of paper and go, okay, make one list for things that you want to get done to grow. And those are things like increasing traffic, increasing your email list, getting on more podcasts, starting a podcast. Like, it's all those things that will help to grow your business, get you out there, get more tribe, that kind of thing, grow your impact. The second list is your profit projects. So these are things that are going to help you make more money. That can be getting new clients. It can be increasing your prices. It could be adding, upsells for people. It could be decreasing your costs. It could be a bunch of things. Again, these are your profit projects. And then the third list is your happiness projects. And that's where you list out all the things that, like your personal projects, things that you'd love to kind of start doing, or habits you'd like to form in your life that are going to make you a happier, healthier, more well-rounded human being. Because when you are that, then you will be able to show up better for your business and get better results in your business as well. So, so I strongly recommend, if you want to take a couple of minutes now, make those 3 lists and just jot down everything that you can think of that you want to get done under each of those 3 things. And then when you've written them all down, go through and, write start to go, which is the most important, maybe highlight some of those. And then those ones are the ones you want to go and put into your quarterly project plans. So let me know. I'll give you guys another 5 minutes to do that, and then we'll move on to the next step. right, guys, just one more minute and then we'll move on to the next part. Okay, so for everyone who's, hopefully you guys have got those lists of things under those each of the 3 headings. And you can see there in the workbook, there's places to put in 1 per quarter. So 1 happiness project, 1 profit project, and 1 growth project per quarter. And if anyone's thinking, I don't know which ones to do first, which order to do them in, like you've probably seen the ones which are probably the most, there might be 3 or 4 things which you're like, this is really important, I want to do them all at once. I'm a strong believer in just picking, like particularly per area, just picking 1 thing that you can really, really focus on, master it. And then because if you're trying to do everything all at once, you'll just kind of do everything a little bit badly. Whereas you can just do 1 thing really, really well. It will definitely, even though it seems backwards and it seems like it's going to take you longer, it will actually get you where you want to go quicker. But how do you know what to do first? So there's a few different ways of looking at it. First of all, I normally have to start with what is most important. If that isn't obvious, like if that's not super clear, then you can ask yourself this question. And that is, and you can do this for each area, so each of the 3 categories. So ask yourself, if I only achieved 1 thing this year, what will get me the closest to where I want to be? So again, and you start thinking down to this why of things, like just saying, it's not just saying I want to get 10,000 new email subscribers. It's like, why do you want to get 10,000 new email subscribers? Is it because those email subscribers will then buy your, that they will then buy your products? Okay, so what you really want is to sell more products. Well, what is the fastest way to sell more products? And that will sometimes be different than what you're thinking. So ask yourself that question. And just go with your gut. Like if you're not sure, go with your gut. Otherwise, I think a lot of you guys are SBB alumni, so feel free to ask in our Facebook groups and I'll happily help you guys out. If you're saying I'm stuck between whether to do this first or this first, more than happy to give you opinion on that if you want to pop it in the comments here as well. But yeah, ask yourself that question. Then once you've picked that 1 thing, then ask it again. Say, okay, well, if I could achieve 1 more thing, what would it be? And hopefully that will make it nice and clear. And then you can use the workbook, that quarterly planner there, to pop in 1 growth goal, 1 profit goal, and 1 happiness goal or life goal into each quarter. So I'll let you guys do that. And then we can get into the content planning to support these goals. And then we can get into our giveaway and our Q&A, which I'm really excited about. So let me know, guys, when you're done with popping your projects into the quarters. Great. Thanks, Annette. I'm just going to assume everyone else, because you're all quiet, that you are either just lost in thought or hopefully that you're not stuck. If you're stuck, please let me know. But let's, done with projects? Great. Thank you, Erin. So now let's add the detail. Let's make sure that we can get these things happening. So step number 1 is I want you to now think about your promotions, launches, or things like that you're going to be doing next year. So, and this is on that same page, so that page in the planner where it's got the, sorry, I should have done a screenshot. So you've got the one where you've got your projects, and then there's the next page should have the like each quarter has got sort of like 3 month boxes for you to pop things in. So in there, I want you to think about when you're going to run any promotions or launches next year. It's also can be a good idea to mark out what's going to be your pre-launch months, because those months are normally also quite busy. So because you'll be creating the launch content, you'll be doing a lot of list building and stuff like that. If you're not currently launching products, so if you don't currently have maybe if you're doing like the sponsorship model, it can be good to even mark out like when you're going to do a promo push to maybe go and be proactively around key times of year to try and get sponsorships. So maybe your content lends itself to preparing lots of great content over the Christmas holidays. It would be awesome to have some sponsors for that. So, maybe 60, 90 days before that would be good to lock in and say, this would be a good time to be proactively going out and trying to get sponsors. If you're not monetizing yet at all, it can just be good to write in, okay, what are the seasonal times of year that you need to be doing, like kind of stepping up and doing a bit of extra content, whether it's so you can do some cool promotions just for list building purposes. So there's lots of different types of promotions, but I want you to mark them in there and leave enough room to write another, because there's going to be a part 2 of this. So just write in, what if launch, and if there's a particular product that you're launching, write the name of it, write pre-launch in the months before it, or if it's a list building launch or whatever it is, just pop those details in there and let me know when you're done. And if anyone's wondering about like the best times of year for launching, so I do a launch every quarter. So that means I like to have a rhythm. And it just means it's, you kind of end up having like 90-day plans that you can just kind of recycle. So we have like a pre-launch month, which is, doing a lot of list building and getting everything set up for the launch. Then we run the launch, and then we have a month where I'm like delivering whatever that the product was that was launched. And then we repeat. And we also do, because I launched 2 products each twice a year. It means we can kind of alternate between those as well. Amanda, great question. I'll answer that in the Q&A at the end around sponsorship. Just because I want to make sure I can get through the stuff so we all get to the end. So I'm going to keep on going, guys, because I'm just very aware of the time. We've already gone past the hour mark, and there are a couple more things. So feel free to keep mapping them out and just listening to me in the background. So once you've got your promotions mapped out, I want you to also plan out a content outline. So think about I want you to pick basically a content theme for each month. And when you're picking that theme, there's a few things to think about. So these are, particularly if you're doing any kind of launch activity or seasonal activity, write that down. So for example, if you are going to be thinking about content and you have a launch coming up, obviously you want that content to be related to the topic of whatever that product is. So the month of your launch or the months before your launch, you're probably going to be wanting to talking about the similar kind of topic as your launch content. If there are certain seasons that are relevant to you, so is the start of the year a big thing? Like maybe you're in the fitness industry. January is massive for people in the fitness industry. It's all about everyone starting the resolutions, want to get fit, new year, new you, all that kind of jazz. If you're doing anything on fashion, anything around the fashion weeks are good to take note of, or the season changes. If it's like back to school, like write those key dates into the planner, and I want you to write a theme or topic for each month as well, because it's just going to make it really, really super easy for you to actually be able to then sit down and go, okay, well, what content do I have to create? Because you've already got the topic, and then you just have to think of like 3 or 4 ideas that fall under that category. And if you're with your planning of promotions, if you just know you're going to be launching something and you haven't figured out exactly what that is yet, you can just write for the theme like launch related content or something like that. And then I really encourage you over the next couple of weeks before the year ends to lock down what you'll be launching when, so that next year you're just delivering that and you're being proactive, not reactive with your content and with what you're creating as well. So I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to get that done. Let me know when you're done and we'll get on to the next part. looks like Donna's done, which is awesome. Anyone else ready to roll? Let's give you another 60 seconds and then we'll move on to the next step. Yes, awesome. Fab. Okay, so next step is to plan out the content detail. So you've done the outline, so you've got your themes for each month. Now it's time to plan out the content details. Now, I'm not going to get you to do 12 months worth right now, but I would love you to do the first 3 months because then you're ready to roll. And if you have more time later and you want to do a bit of homework and you want to do the rest of them, excellent. So I want you to, so just assume that there are 4 weeks in every month and that you need to come up with a content idea that matches your theme. So sit down and jot those down on a piece of paper now. So write what your theme is and just brainstorm. Even if you want to do 5 or 6 ideas, because when it comes time to do them, you might find some are going to be more suitable than others, but write 4 to 6 ideas under the first 3 topics. So for January, February, March for your content. So I'll give you guys 5 minutes to do that. Sure thing. So Whitley's just asked me to repeat it. So so you guys have plotted out your themes. So plotting out your themes for the 12 months. So now I want you to take those first 3 months. So what will be January, February, March, the themes for those first 3 months, and just do a brain dump of possible content ideas, 4 to 6 ideas for each of those 3 themes. So you should be able to do this in 5 minutes. No worries. Just sit down, jot them down, and then basically that's your content plan for the first quarter of the year. And you can come back and, spend another 20 minutes pretty much mapping out the rest of your year after this, if you want to, or later on before the end of the year. I highly recommend that you do it. Yes, brain dump away, Joy, and we'll send you the replay. Fingers crossed, it has all worked. So I'll give you just another 2 minutes, guys, to do that. Awesome, Annette. Well done. Yes, we're nearly wrapped up. I think we've just got a few more things here, and then we're going to jump into the comp. So you're doing really well, Shanita. So let's keep on going. So I was going to take you guys through how to do a brainstorm. I'm pretty sure you've all got it covered. You can mind map it out if you really get stuck. And, great starting points are to think about your themes, topics, and categories, which you've just kind of defined. Go through reader questions and common reader problems. If you're trying to, create a list of common questions and common problems and try and assign them to bits of content, like they can be on their own. Just answering those questions can be great content, great for SEO as well. And of course, anything seasonal is also awesome. So now this is a bonus task. Again, this is more homework because I know each of you, we are running out of time. But if you want to write down for your homework to do yourself a content audit, and if you do this every year, it's super valuable, where for each type of content that you create, now everyone's going to be different. So some people do blog posts, some people do YouTube videos, some people do Instagram, some people do a combo, but pick maybe the three main types of content. Some people do emails, some people do all of them, but pick the three ones you think are the most impactful, the most important to your business, and do a bit of a content audit and find the 5 best performing pieces of content. So if that was email, for example, you'd see which one's got the best open rates and the best click rates, look at your stats. If it was blog content, you can say which one got the most views, which one's got the most comments, whatever's kind of a good marker for you. Obviously Instagram, most likes, most Facebook, most shares, most comments, most views. So pick the 3 most important types of content for you. Go and find your 5 best performing and 5 worst performing pieces of content, and just look at them and see if there's any patterns and see what learnings you can take from that, because quite often that can be really good to just sit down and go, oh, this thing does amazingly well and people don't give 2 shits about this thing. So that can really help to frame some of your content and help you do even better content next year. So that's a bit of a bonus homework for you guys. So now you have all of these ideas, goals, and plans. Let's make sure you get them done. So I want you guys, and this is the very last page in your workbook, I want you to help you end the year with a bang. And this is a competition, guys. So I want you to pick 3 quick wins. So I want you to think of 3 things that you've been procrastinating for a substantial amount of time, things that you know you should do. And these aren't massive things. So I don't want you to go, oh, I'm going to go to get 1,000 new subscribers or anything like that. But maybe it's finishing something off. It's emailing someone. It's, updating something. It's cleaning something out, or, going and getting your Google Analytics set up finally, whatever it is. 3 things that you've been putting off that would just feel so damn good to tick off your list. So I want you to pick 3 quick wins that you can use to end the year with a bang. And if you need a bit of motivation to do this, to help to clear off your to-do list for next year, to end the year feeling really good and really accomplished, as I said, I have a giveaway for you guys, and that is to help you make sure you get these 3 things done. So I'm running a competition. This competition is running to the end of the year. It will end, so you have until midnight, New Year's Eve, Aussie time. So US people, remember that is earlier than that is. We kind of have our New Year's Eve is kind of like the afternoon of your day before. So you've got to the end of the year to complete these quick wins and to submit them to us. So step 1, I want you to, as I said, to think of those 3 quick wins so you can write them down into your workbook, but also you need to submit them to me. I'm going to share a link to a Google form that you can pop those details in, and because that way we've got obviously your contact name, email address, so we can contact you if you win and we know what your wins are. So 3 quick wins to complete before the end of the year. So think of them now, or if you're feeling really way too tired, you want to submit them tomorrow, that's fine as well. We will send you the link again in the email with the replay that comes after this, and I'll pop the link in shortly for the form. So step 1, choose the 3 quick wins to complete before the end of the year. Step 2, submit them via our form, pretty simple. And then step 3, I want you to pop them to make sure, you can do them as quickly or as you like, but the goal, the best way to do it is try and do 1 a week. So for the next, there's 3 weeks left to the end of the year, not to make you panic. And so I want you to when you do them, you need to share that you've done them. So if you want to like snap a photo of yourself or just do a tweet saying you've completed, you completed and what it is you completed, and use the hashtag SBB Planning Party. So you need to submit that, you complete your 3 things and submit 1 share for each. So there'll be 3 shares with that hashtag. And then if you do that, then you are in the draw to win a really cool prize. I'll explain what that is in a second. So you have to share it by Instagram or Twitter, guys. Obviously, don't put it on. If you have Instagram and you have a private profile, we won't be able to see it. So make sure it's only on public. We can't accept Facebook shares just because they are a pain in the ass to find. I've done them before. We only end up seeing about 20% of them. So even if you did it, we might miss it. So it's just kind of not cool. So so you have to submit your quick win. You can snap a photo of yourself doing it, snap a photo of your whatever makes sense for you. Do a pretty picture, whatever. But just do these before the end of the year. And the prize you can win is a place in SBB Summer School, which is a brand new program that I'm starting in January next year. And it's worth $997. So I'll just quickly explain what Summer School is so you know why you might want to jump into it and what you're getting yourself in for. But basically, it's a 90-day online business boot camp, and it's designed to give ambitious and hard-hustling women just like you guys the best possible start to the year so you can get shit done, get the results you deserve, and then get back to doing what you love. Now, this is not another course. There is info in there, but it's really focused on getting things done and then giving you, if you need templates or support or whatever, so it's giving you step by step on what you need to do to grow the 3 most important areas of your business, to sort of set up the foundations and set up the snowballs of the things which make the big difference, but people always put them off. So it's 3 30-day sprints, but you have a week break in between each so you don't burn out and fall into a heap. So sprint number 1 is growing your list. So it's setting up awesome opt-ins and a promotion plan, and then kind of getting everything set on autopilot to get your list growing and growing and growing and nurturing that list as well. Sprint number 2 is building your traffic. So we're going to go through Pinterest strategy, SEO strategy, a bunch of other stuff, some cool interactive stuff as well to give your traffic a massive kickstart. And again, it's starting that snowball, it's setting that foundation, so that yes, you can finally tick off having these things done and then you don't have to think about them. You can just get on with running your business. And then sprint number 3 is the crush your content sprint. And that is all around batching and getting, getting yourself sorted and getting like all of your content done. Or you probably get about at least 70%, because obviously some stuff needs to be done live, done and scheduled and ready to go, so you just don't have to think about it for the rest of the year. So you're just taking all of these things off your plate, getting these big things ticked off so that, as I said, it's all about starting the snowballs, building the foundation, and then you can spend the rest of your year just doing the shit that you love, engaging with your audience, delivering, and working on your business to create new things or whatever, but that stuff is sorted. So it's 90 days to get shit done, get the results you deserve, and then get back to doing what you love is my slogan. It's still a work in progress because I'm still creating the sales page for this thing. But I hope you guys like it anyway. So this is what you can win a place in. This hasn't even been announced. No one even knows this thing exists yet. So you guys, step 1, as I said, choose what your 3 quick wins are going to be. Step 2, submit them in the form, which I will show you the link in just a second. And then step 3, make sure you share for each one. So it's 3 shares on either Instagram or Twitter with the hashtag SBB Planning Party when you've completed them. Oh, great. I'm really glad you guys think it sounds good, because it's kind of scary with all new things. So hang on, let me get you that form. Where is my link? It's not a very sexy form, guys, so I apologize for that. It is just a Google form. That's the form and I'll pop it in a sticky as well. So when you come up with your 3 quick wins, pop them in here. And then, as I said, you will be getting sent emails after this. So we'll send you an email each week just reminding you to submit and share your quick wins to make sure they happen. So, I'm very committed here to making sure you guys get this shit done. So I think we're nearly done. So I just wanted to check in and see so this plan that you guys have created, I realize for some of you it's a bit piecemeal and you might need to spend a bit more time finalizing it, but these, setting up your quarterly plans and stuff, like I'd just love to get, some yeses or some hell yes of like, how committed are you to getting these things that you need, to these projects done, to creating your best year yet next year. Like chuck it in there, let's finish off with a high before we jump into question time. So let me know, how committed are you guys? Like how much are you going to, how much do you want to make this happen? Yes. Yay. Love it, Joy. Love it, Whitley. Rebecca, yes, we will be sending a replay. Don't you worry. It will come out. If it's not in the next few hours, it'll be first thing tomorrow morning. It's kind of pre-scheduled. So yes, definitely. Awesome. I don't know what percent. Is it like 100,000 or 1,000,000%, Emily? But either way, that is awesome. Well, I'm really super stoked for you guys, and please, especially for you guys who are in, I've seen a lot of familiar names and faces here. If you guys are in the SV alumni groups and the Blog Squad group, make sure you let me know how you get on with these and if you get stuck at all. But in the meantime, it's time for questions. So, and I forgot, sorry, that you also have the opportunity, if you guys want to jump on the wait list for summer school, I'll share that link with you guys as well. Because it is going to be like a really small number of people that we take through it. And you guys all sounded like you kind of like the sound of it. So there's the summer school waitlist link there. If you want it, get on the waitlist, and, hopefully I will see you guys in summer school, either because you've won it or because you've come to join in. Either way, yes, awesome, Annette. Yay. So questions. I know we had 2 earlier. Let me just find. So Amanda asked about how do you go about getting sponsors for posts. So you've got no problems getting products sent, but I'd like to start getting paid for sponsored posts. That's awesome. So and you've also asked what sort of stats do you need to attract paid sponsorship. So there's no hard and fast number. I'll answer that question first. It kind of comes down to a few things. One, it comes down to your interaction and your engagement with your current readers. So brands right now, they're not really looking for, you don't need massive following. You just need, they actually often have, when they do an influencer outreach, they'll go, okay, we'll get a handful of massive ones, and then we want to actually kind of also get some small, they call them micro influencers, which is like up and coming influencers and bloggers who have small but really engaged audiences. So engagement is key. So you want to make sure that, and they will, to track this, they'll be looking at number of comments on blog posts, which this has gone down for everybody. So they know that they're not, but comments and engagement on things like Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, if that's more your jam. These are the things they're going to be looking at. YouTube as well, depending on where you're sharing your content. So I'd really focus on engagement, on doing things that encourage engagement, on creating posts that get people to answer questions or to, to tag people or whatever. Engagement is super important rather than number. But either way, you want to definitely have, I'd say probably a minimum of 5,000 visitors a month before you kind of go out and are proactively looking for sponsorships, because otherwise the amount that they're going to be willing to pay is probably not going to be worth your time in getting the sponsorships in the first place. However, that doesn't mean you can't accept people when they come to you. So if you are already getting that people sending you product and stuff, that's great. And I would really focus on also trying to build those relationships. So when someone sends you product, if you include it, well, actually 2 things. One, if they're sending it to you and demanding that you include it or saying, can you please include it? Make sure I'd script out an email. I'm not sure if you're in our Blog Squad. In Blog Squad, we actually have a script for this, which basically just says like, thanks for sending it through. If it feels right to put into one of my blog posts, I will. If you would like a guaranteed inclusion, that is actually a service that I offer, or that is actually one of my most popular services. Always good to make it sound like it's really rad. And here's my media kit is attached with the details on, let me know if that's something that you would be interested in. So you can do that when PRs are starting to be or companies are starting to be a bit pushy, which they can be, or if you are just looking to, if they're not, but there are some companies, and you'll find there's brands that are really, really good fit for like their products you already love and that you're really, really super happy to share with your readers. And when you share them, they get good results. Make sure you're sharing those results or any interactions with the brands. So if, for example, someone sends you a lipstick and you do, I'm not sure what your niche is, but if someone sends you a lippy and you're doing like a tutorial on it and people are like, oh, this lipstick's amazing, send that link to the brand. Say, thank you so much for sending that through. I just want to share this post with you guys. And my readers really, really loved it. And just start to sort of build that relationship. It can take time. It can take quite a bit of time, which is why I kind of recommend that people if you want to use sponsorship as one of your revenue streams, because it's normally one that kind of kicks in later. Other things you can do if you kind of are at the point where you're like, yeah, my stats are good, my engagement's good, is go out and be proactive and go and start approaching, like write down a list of your dream brands, those ones I said that you already use, that you will feel really happy and you can create great content for them and you'll be happy to share them with your readers, and start getting in contact with them. Just say, hey, I just want to know that I love your brand. I think you'd be great for my readership. Here's my media kit. If you're looking to work with any influencers next year, I'd love to chat to you about that. Or happy to put together some ideas and stuff. Even send them some ideas. Sometimes people, if you've got a maybe like a big seasonal, like as I said, like a seasonal time of year that's really big for your content, you get a lot of, maybe you go gangbusters at Halloween because you do great recipes or something like that. In the lead up to that, then is a really good time to go out and be proactive and start approaching relevant brands and say, hey, I'm going to be doing 30 days of Halloween recipes on my site and I'm looking for a sponsor. Would you like to discuss this? Here's my media kit, blah, blah, blah. So I hope that has helped. Any other questions? It doesn't look like we've got. We've got some other questions. Yay, Sonia, I'm so glad that has been helpful for you. Diane says, it may sound really basic. There's no such thing as a stupid question, Diane, so just don't worry about that. But I'm having trouble with spammers on my blog. I have apps to catch it, but it just keeps coming. I'm not sure how much it's altering my stats. So I'm assuming this means like bot traffic. Is that right? Yeah, that's a tricky one. So if it's spam comments, I find Akismet is the best plugin. And if you already have that, I'm not really sure. That would be really good. Diane, are you in our blog squad? Because that would be a really good question for Madeline. She's even nerdier than me. And as far as bot traffic, again, I know there are things you can do to block it. There are settings that you can set up, but I haven't actually done them myself. So this might be a bit, I'm a massive nerd, but this might be just slightly outside of my nerdiness. But I know that, again, Madeline, she's the queen nerd. You do have Akismet? Yes, sorry. Hang on, I was find. I can't remember the name of her blog. Sorry, I'm having a terrible brain fart. You might, yeah, I think Moz has got an article on this, but it's from 2 years ago. Yeah, sorry, Hun. Yeah, I'm just sorry. It might just be beyond my nerdiest. I'm just trying to think, what is her done? Oh man, why can I not think of what her site is called? I know she did a really good post on this just not long ago, and she shared it, and it was great. And now I can't think of it. Oh, I'm sorry, Diane. If I think of it, I will share it on my Facebook page, and you'll be able to just check there. I'm sure it will come to me as soon as I get off. I'm going to make a note for myself to do that. Does anyone else have any questions at all? If not, Another thing you might be able to do, Jane, is speak to your host and ask them about it. They might be able to put some things in place that can stop it for you. Yeah, I know it's a pain, but the thing is, it is a pain because it rets your stats, but it won't actually impact your business. It just makes the stats bit. So I would just if you can't find a quick fix to it right now, put it on the to-do list, but I wouldn't spend too much time stressing about it because, it is what they call a small rock rather than a big rock. Actually, it's more like a sand versus a small rock versus a big rock. And there's so many other things that you could be spending your time on, which will have positive impacts. Whereas all this will do is will remove the bots from your analytics. So I know it sucks flying blind, but if it isn't something that it has an easy fix for you, yeah, I wouldn't stress too much about it because it won't actually impact you after that. So if that's all the questions, it looks like it. Whitney says, if you have any questions later time, how can we get in touch with you? Well, if you're in our Blog Squad group, you can ask me questions at any time. Otherwise, we just have to wait till we do another workshop. I do them kind of periodically. That's for the best way to get in touch with me. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't do just Q&As around the place. I try and make sure I'm focusing my energy on my lovely community, and you're more than welcome to come and join us in there. But other than that, we do, as I said, we do periodic freebie workshops like this where you can get everything answered as well. So, and sometimes I do Q&A Facebook Lives as well, so keep an eye out for them. Oh, thank you, Donna. Bless your contacts. I love that saying. You made my day. So yes, you got to come and join our squad. It's amazing. It's a really, really fun place to be. So thank you guys. Thank you so much. I hope this was useful. I'm super excited for what is in store for all of you in 2018. The replay will be sent out to you guys shortly. And don't forget to make sure that you come and join in and share your quick wins. Submit your quick wins, share your quick wins, and then you're in the draw to win that place in the summer school next year, which is going to just be like amazing. I'm so excited about this, getting that started. So thank you guys. Thank you. I hope you all have excellent rest of your days. And yeah, I will see you all very soon. Bye.